All right, I'm back with another Q&A to answer some of your guys' questions that you have. And first off, we're going to talk about Tesofensine just because someone asked a question about it, and they are someone who uses Adderall. And I guess they came across this on like a Reddit thread or what Google, but they're asking about that to replace Adderall. First of all, everything has to go through a doctor and to see if you can wean yourself off of Adderall. And while you're on Adderall, everyone has different dependencies and codependencies, so it's not always good to come off of something cold turkey. However, a lot of people take Adderall and get addicted to it because they think that Adderall will make you smarter or complete the task at hand much more efficient, which is false. It can just make you more into what you are wanting to be into. So whether that be video games, drawing, making arts and crafts, or work. Uh, so you have to really be into it. It doesn't force you to like things that you don't like. That's just called discipline, and you have to build that up, right? So just do the things you don't like. So Tesofensine, though, it is really great product. I recommend it for people who do have a hard time with balancing that serotonin and dopamine and norepinephrine because it is a triple reuptake inhibitor. So it is cholerogenic. It is a mono monoaminergic neurotransmitter for the brain. Now, a lot of people will use it for a replacement of Adderall or other addictions because it does not have that same addictive process, which they've seen in studies regarding people who have some sort of street drug addiction. It's like cocaine was one of them in the studies. So trying to get people to come off of cocaine while they are uh, not in a hospital setting. So it just helps to create a stimulus without the central nervous system creating an addiction. So really, really cool. However, this also means that it does help with weight loss because it can curb cravings or change your mood for wanting food for that dopamine or serotonin hit. So, in my opinion, it's an alternative to using a GLP-1. It's not a GLP-1 because there are oral GLP-1s now, and the tesofensine, it does. From what I've heard, I haven't taken it. So from what I've heard that other people have taken it, it doesn't slow down the gastric emptying. It is more of a phenotropin type of drug. So again, reducing that dependency on some sort of stimulant. Um, you can still take things like caffeine with it, but it's kind of up to the user. So user beware, right? But the weight loss effects of it have seen great success. There's also seen success in blood sugar control and blood sugar improvement, but that might just be due to not wanting certain foods. And so you are dropping body fat, or it's also creating that healthy habit of going to the gym. So you're stimulating GLUT4 transport and helping with nutrient uptake into the muscle and creating that healthy habit of exercising along with reducing some of that food noise. So this is a better option. Like I would say, I wouldn't take it with retatrutide if you are against injections, just because you don't feel safe, like you don't feel comfortable even reconstituting it yourself, or you do have a fear of needles, and you don't want something to slow down your gastric emptying because you might be afraid that there's maybe some fermentation problems with your bacterial growth because of food slowing down in the transit time in your gut, then tesofensine would be my route to go. You can also take it again similar to an Adderall. I'm not saying it is Adderall, nor am I saying that it's a replacement, but you might see similar benefits. And you can use it almost like methylene blue as far as like when there is a heavy task at hand, you could take this the same way that people should be taking Adderall. I don't think you should be on it all the time. I just think that's an excuse that people use because they are so addicted to social media and things that have such a quick response to dopamine. And you know, they claim that they have ADHD when they don't. They just are addicted to a dopamine hit, and social media is there to give it to them. And when they kind of reach that threshold of like too high of a peak, then they need something even more stimulatory to create that dopamine response. So if they don't get it, then you get the mirroring effect to where your dopamine drops below baseline at the same height at that peak. So we want to reduce that on a safe route. And again, tesofensine, this molecule would help along with therapy. So again, limiting your use of dopaminergic stimulatories like social media or food and such. Which brings me into like my next um, question because they're asking about like the cost effectiveness. Like, is the price of let's see if I can get it. The price of peptides worth the results? And again, it is you get what you pay for and you get what you put in. So if you don't put in anything and you buy something and you don't get results that you're expecting, then yeah, that's what's to be expected. You lost 500 bucks, right? But if you put in the work and you put in that therapy time I would use the term sacrifice. Um, and not sacrifice I'm giving up my life for someone else. You know, like that, not that sacrifice, not that religious sacrifice, but like you're giving up something that gives you satisfaction now in return for something that gives you satisfaction or something of greater value in the future. So it can be for anything in life, and sacrifices can be different levels. It doesn't have to be so profound, but little sacrifices in life, you know, I don't mind people using that term. However, suffering, I think that's different because that means that you are having to go through this, like you're being forced to go through this situation for some sort of result that will end up after going through this terrible situation or this trudging situation, but you have no control over that. So sacrifice is a better word to me. It's a more positive word and a more manifestation type of word. And you really get what you put into it. So I do believe that they are worth the money because you pay less overall when you're investing in your life. Now, what I'm talking about is like for health insurance, you know, the cost of health insurance versus what you still have to pay at the doctor's office to even get, and then a lot of things you still have to pay out of pocket or private, and then, because the doctors will not get you an ICD-10 code or a prescription for something or a scan. Really, those things that we need, these scans, like a um, like a calcium score, right? You can just go in and it's pretty cheap. You know, it's like 100 bucks, 150 bucks wherever you go. Just pay cash, or even blood work. Like it's better to get a private MD labs is what I use, and you can have like an a la carte, and you still use your HSA card and pay for it. So you're still saving money with taxes as long as you're putting money on your HSA account from your employer, and it's a win-win situation right there. Now peptides, they're not part of HSA. Maybe in the future they might be. Uh, or maybe if you work with a wellness company that has peptides available and you pay out of pocket, maybe I don't know the rules on that. I'm unsure. But yeah, to me, it's worth it. It's worth every penny. And I feel way better having spent the money that I spend. Like, I don't get stuff for free. Like, you still pay for things, right? And I don't mind paying for something if it means it may have a better outcome for myself or for my family or for someone else. And I think of it like a rippling effect, right? So you throw a pebble into a pond and you see the ripples, and you know, if you're downstream and you see those ripples, you look, like, you don't know where it came from sometimes, but you know that someone else caused those, right? So the person that's throwing the pebble, and you don't know who you're going to affect in life, and then you don't know who is going to see that person who you affected and help them become better, and then that causes them to want to seek out, hey, where did you get that from? Where'd you get the information? And then everything kind of leads back to the source of someone wanting to improve their lives and also improve others. And sometimes that comes at a cost for us, those who want to just improve overall health and well-being and try to optimize health, because there's there's nothing that is impossible. There are hard times, and but hard times are needed, right? what's that saying? It's like hard times make great men, and soft times make hard times, or something like that. Um, but and that reminds me of like this commercial that I saw on YouTube. I am a YouTube consumer. Um, and these commercials was talking about a pharmaceutical drug, and it was like the very first thing it said was like, it's hard managing your type 2 diabetes. Like, no, it's not. It's not hard. Like, you're saying that because you want this person who knows nothing about health, nutrition, can't even read a food label, and listens to fear mongering people on the internet. You want them to go and ask the doctor, be like, hey, I've heard of this medication and it's supposed to help me with managing my type 2 diabetes because it's so hard to overcome. Type 2 diabetes is the worst. It's like cancer. Oh my goodness. And it's not like type 1. Yeah, that's the harder to control, but the people who have it and live with it, they know how to manage it well, and it's not a nuisance on them. They make the priority adjustments, and then that's that. And type 2 diabetes, people think like you can't get rid of it. It's a lifestyle choice. You literally brought that upon yourself. 99% of you brought that upon yourself. There are occasions to where you will end up with type 2 diabetes because of some other illness or some other disease or condition or accident. Maybe mess up your pancreas, right? But then you wouldn't be labeled type 2 diabetes. You'd be labeled type 1 or like one and a half, right? Or whatever they call it, 1B or 1A or whatever. Um, it doesn't make any sense. Like that is your lifestyle choice. Alzheimer's, type 3 diabetes. That is your choice. You're getting that. And we can do as much as we can to prevent that. So don't sit there and have like a pity, woe is me. I have type 2 diabetes. It's so hard. It's so easy. How about you shop the perimeter of your grocery store and stop going down the middle of the aisles? I mean, I go grocery shopping a lot. I go in HEBs a lot, and I see people's carts. And it is astonishing the stuff that people have. And I know that they don't feel good. I know that they are self-conscious. I know they don't have any self-value, and they claim that they will, but deep down they don't. And I know this because everyone who's had a problem, even myself with food addictions and eating disorders, I've had that shame, that's the self-worthlessness, right? Like you have no value. And you can lie to yourself as much as you want, but it's going to catch up with you, man. So I don't even know how I got on that tangent, but if you have type 2 diabetes or you have a family member that has type 2 diabetes, it, it is, it's so easy to overcome. It's so easy. It's literally you actually get paid. Like if we're looking at type 2 diabetes because of the foods that you eat and the food choices, you're literally getting paid to not have type 2 diabetes. How are you getting paid? Because you're not buying the specific trashy food and having to visit the doctor and get all these medications and such. You're getting money, you're saving money from making those choices. So in the long run, you're actually going to have more money. So again, it's so easy to get over it because just small steps can reverse that. Small things like not drinking your calories, small things like a few 10-minute walks throughout the day, small things like going into the gym and just doing a few machines to stimulate muscle with some type of weightlifting on a machine, a plate loaded machine or a pin loaded machine, and just a few things. That's going to be better than not going at all. If you go, I'd rather have someone go once a week than zero to do some sort of weightlifting and then do cardio the other days, right? If they're coming from ground zero. So, I mean, the first thing I'd have you do is to really just look at your diet and get rid of a lot of uh, empty calories, right? Things that don't have nutrition, especially things like high fructose corn syrup, because high fructose high fructose corn syrup, your body's not able to process it and realize, hey, it's like a sugar and it can help release leptin. Cane sugar, yeah, but high fructose corn syrup, you will continue to eat other foods on top of that, so you're getting more and more calories in it. And when you're pouring yourself a Coke or whatever, or you're drinking juices, again, juices, I don't care if they're natural 100% juice or not. We don't even give our kids juice. It's so pointless. Just eat the fruit, get the fiber, get all the phytonutrients in it, uh, the anthocyanins in it, get all these different things that are inside fruit, uh, and stop drinking the juice. I mean, just easy steps. I mean, make your bed in the morning, right? I mean, like you can burn 1 to 2 calories making your bed in the morning. How about that? Do it every single day. It's a lot of calories throughout the entire year. Um, and yeah, okay, I'll just leave it there because like the other thing that I also look at, like whenever I'm in the grocery store, is whenever I park in the parking lot, I park the furthest parking spot away. And it sucks here in Texas because, sorry, it's getting hot in here. I'm getting a little heated up. It's hard in Texas sometimes for the people who don't do it often because it's so hot, right? They're like, man, I'm going to be sweating by the time I get to the store, and it's just so uncomfortable. But like, it's a lot of extra steps when you're talking about it. Like how often you go to stores or your doctor's office or pick up your kids or anywhere you go. Yeah, you're in Texas and Florida and Nevada and all that. You're going to be sweating so much, but it's just a small choice, right? But as I park far away and get some steps in before going into the store, I also look in people's cars because the way that you organize your car and how neat and clean your car is on the inside, more than the outside. On the inside, that really shows what type of person you are. On the outside, it could be fake presence, right? Like you can have a nice shiny car, but on the inside, it's junk. So I don't really care about what your outside appearances or what you portray yourself to be on the internet or social media, because there's a lot of fake people out there. The outside appearance means nothing to me, but if the inside it's trash, that's most likely what your house looks like as well, and your own life. It's disorganized, it's messy, it is abused, it, it's something unacceptable, and it shouldn't be allowed. Like in your life, you should not have those standards. Your standards should be higher. If you have kids, your kids are going to see that and they're going to follow, and then that's going to make worse standards as for the next generation. Um, but like if you ever like even go to someone's house that you know unannounced, don't even announce it, and ask to use their restroom. And if their car is dirty, their restroom is probably dirty. Um, that's just how it is, man. And if that's happening, your diet's probably like that too. I've never seen a messy, unorganized slob who has low standards have a spectacular diet and is optimizing all avenues of ways to improve health and fitness. I've never seen it. Never, never. Okay. And if someone says it, then they might be the person that is lying on the outside and has a fake personality, false perception. All right, next question. That took a while. Sorry, guys. Um, they're talking about like, do androgen receptors downregulate uh, after being on TRT? I don't believe so. That was a thought process way back in the day. That's the reason why we continually increase dosages for anabolics is because we thought that we downregulated or desensitized receptors, but we're always making new ones. I think that what happens is that, again, going back to the word of the year, mitochondria, I think our mitochondria get inefficient or have some leakage. And I think that's what's stopping our body from efficiently using exogenous hormones or detoxing the hormones correctly and causing other imbalances in the body. So I think that it's more of a poor mitochondria health. And so the same thing goes into someone's asking about PCT. Is it needed? Is it needed after these peptides and stuff? Well, first of all, I've never done a PCT after any of my cycles. And yes, I'm not a huge bodybuilder, okay? But I've done cycles in the past. I I do not want to get big. If you look on my social media, I am a pretty large frame guy. I have big bones. I'm 6 foot tall in the 200s. I don't know what I am now, but coming from an athletic background, And even increasing my weight, it's just my body prefers to be smaller. Okay. But I've never done any PCT, and I have two kids, both are boys, but I've always been on top of my game of antioxidants and polyphenols and getting enough protein in and exercising frequently and doing tons of cardio as well. My grandparents taught me that, and they lived it, and I saw it. And my grandma is just a spring of health, and you would not notice it, right? At like her age. So she's just nonstop, right? But I kept my health so optimal. And thinking back at it, it's probably mitochondrial efficiency. It's the same reason why I overcame a bunch of health issues is because I focused on these basic principles before mitochondrial efficiency or mitochondrial deficiency or mitochondrial leakage, all these terms now that we are researching and understanding and putting out. I was just doing it intuitively because that's what my grandparents taught, and I did it. And then the simple thing that I did with vitamin C, I read it in a book talking about allergies because I had very bad eczema growing up, and autoimmune problems. And so I read about 5 to 10 grams of vitamin C daily, and yes, ascorbic acid. And I mean, a big, thick book. I mean, I'm sure it's like Vitamin Shop and GNC used to sell them. And I used to read that front to back, front to back, front to back. And and I was like, oh, well, I'm going to do this because I have allergies. And so I started putting all these herbalist techniques into my health regimen. But I was also exercising on top of it, going to the gym early in the morning, sometimes before school, after school, running, weightlifting. Freaking, I went to the gym during a hurricane in Florida. Like I drove through a hurricane and the guy had the gym open because he was playing racquetball or something. And he's like, it was me, him, and one other guy in the gym. And that was a big bodybuilder back in the day as well that worked out there. And that's where I kind of saw my first bodybuilder. Um, Wish I knew his name. I don't remember now. But I mean, I was 16 years old going there, right? And he was teaching me these things. And so um but again, my first cycle back in the day was 500 milligrams of test, and that was it, right? I didn't have any ancillaries on me. I didn't have any orals, but that's what I did, um, and I'd ran that for, I think it was 3 bottles, or it was like two and a half or something, because he gave me 2 bottles. I know I had 2 bottles, but I think he gave me like half of a bottle or something. And and I don't, I think it might have been test sus. I can't remember. But but that's what I did. And again, no PCT either. And even onwards working with coaches, I never did PCTs as well. Never saw the need for them. And I got blood work done back in the day. I had to because I had an autoimmune disease. So I respectively got my blood work done. I have blood work ranging back whenever I was a freaking toddler, right? I mean, I get these markers because they had to also check my hormones out because they gave me medications as a toddler that they said was going to stunt my growth and also affect my hormones, which again, it did because I have blood work from way back in the day that has my testosterone at like 11, right? Nanograms per deciliter. So, um, and then estrogen, I didn't like for a moment when I had Cushing's, I had very high estrogen and progesterone. Um, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was during that time. I have to look at my files, but everything was from All Children's Hospital in St. Petersburg, Florida. And, there's journals where I'm somewhere in the journals because of the things that they were doing. So I've been doing blood work, right? I don't know. Back then I didn't know how to read it, but now I do. But again, I don't really believe in PCTs if your mitochondrial health and your nutrition is on point, your phytonutrients are on point, your antioxidant use. You're taking NAC, I mean, I think vitamin C is the most underrated supplement out there. You have fish oil, you have creatine, all those things. I think vitamin C is underrated. I really do. It's so cheap. It's great. Magnesium, yes, we're deficient in it too, and all that stuff. But vitamin C can also lower cortisol. So maybe it lowers cortisol so much that your magnesium doesn't deplete as fast. But also you don't want to take too much to where it's stomach ache or you get catabolic in a way. Um, but uh, but vitamin C for sure is my number one. I would put anybody on, and they would see improvements. But everybody's different. So everybody's hormones are different. So how you bounce back from a cycle, depending on what your cycle was, how sensitive, how much androgen density do you have? Um, what's your sleep quality like? Um, but like, what's your clearance of the drug? I mean, all these things come into effect. Um, but again, I think really focusing on that nutrition with antioxidants and polyphenols, I think are going to be your go-to for reducing the risk of needing to use PCT and get everything bouncing back and keeping because like it doesn't matter about like the sperm counts, right? It matters about how well that they move, the motility of them, and they, you know, so it can just be one sperm out of however many, but you really need it to be efficient, right? And again, the way that we thought that cholesterol was the only way to create hormones back in the day, like it's mitochondrial that really dictate all these things. And so why wouldn't it dictate and kind of be the head engineer of your sperm as well, and also bouncing back um, HPTA and LH and FSH and you know um, so that's my opinions, and I think that's it today. Let's try to keep this as short as possible. But if you guys have any questions, comments, please leave them below. I also always forget the description tells you that this is not medical advice. This is entertainment only. And I'm thinking about asking a couple of friends to start a podcast, maybe like a weekly podcast, and just kind of talk about science, but also personal experience with some peptides and anabolics and training and nutrition, what works for us. And we're all different ages, all different. Um, we have different goals in life and different life circumstances, and so I think it'd be good to have a perspective and and kind of give you what we do, and and we're really big into the supplement game as well. Like I think we're all supplement nerds on top of that, and the supplement industry, and I think you guys might like it. So hopefully we'll get that going, and I'll try to facilitate that and have some fun. All right, guys, have a good one.